From MTN, the Montana Television Network, this is a solar eclipse special report.
T-minus 19 minutes, 45 seconds and counting. You're watching live coverage of the solar eclipse happening right here in Montana as day is turning to night in the Treasure State, something that hasn't happened in 38 years and won't happen again for another quarter of a century. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to MTN's special coverage of the solar eclipse. I'm Julianne Delorso.
And I'm Tim McGonigal. We're with you for the next half hour, giving you an up-close look at Montana's darkest day and breaking down the impact of the eclipse that it's having on the state. We have a team of reporters covering the eclipse for you from Great Falls to Helena, Wyoming to Idaho. We have got your front row seat to the solar eclipse, and over the next 30 minutes we'll check in with them to show how others are celebrating and to see just how the eclipse is impacting the Treasure State. That's
right, folks. Obviously, this having a major impact on just about everything, and there's a serious side to this exciting event. Eye experts have issued stern warnings to protect your eyes, and some governors have even declared a state of emergency in anticipation of the chaos.
All right, so let's begin with our expert on all things science related, meteorologist Mike Rollins. Mike, can you explain exactly what is happening above us right now?
Well, this partial solar eclipse is taking place as we speak. So let's talk about exactly what's going on here. Of course, there's our sun, and of course, we're orbiting around the sun here. This is not to actual scale, but you get the idea. What's happening as we speak is the moon has moved in between us and the sun. And we are seeing the moon's shadow now cast onto Earth's surface, and that's what you're starting to see right now. It is already getting dark outside, and that's what we're currently experiencing. We call this the penumbra, the partial shadow. That's what we're going to see right here in Montana, while folks down to our south in Oregon and over parts of Idaho, Wyoming, will see the umbra, or that full shadow. Now, this is going to stretch from coast to coast, all the way from Oregon back to South Carolina. This is where we're talking about this total solar eclipse happening here, totality as we call it. It is starting right now as we speak in Madras, Oregon. It's going to pass through Idaho Falls, Casper, Wyoming, Lincoln, Nebraska, all the way to the east coast here over about a 3-hour period. And close to home, we are going to see about 90% of this eclipse. We call it a partial eclipse here in Montana. But as you work your way farther south, folks toward Big Sky, West Yellowstone, the southern part of the state, getting a spectacular show. Nearly 99% of the sun will disappear here as the moon again passes in front of it. All right, here we go with the timing of all of this. Of course, we've already started the eclipse itself. Now, its peak will reach Missoula at 11:31, Helena 11:34, Bozeman 11:35, Cut Bank 11:34, and you see the other times here. And then over the next hour or so, we will start to see it wane, and we will see the sun return to us. Now, I've been keeping a close eye on the clouds. We were very nervous that clouds might prevent us from seeing this eclipse this morning. The good news is that most of the Treasure State is cloud-free. There are some high and mid-level clouds here in the northern part of the state. That's about it. The rest of us looking at clear skies. Tim and Julianne, over to you.
All right. Thanks a lot, Mike. Well, we know that everyone wants to get that perfect view of the eclipse, but doing so safely is of utmost importance.
Yeah, now just like any other day, you absolutely cannot look up at the sun with your bare eyes. And don't even think about using your sunglasses either, because those won't protect you.
We are staying in contact with Benefis Health System, Great Falls Clinic, St. Peter's Hospital in Helena this morning as the eclipse happens to see if their emergency rooms are treating any eye-related injuries due to the eclipse.
Speaking of that, joining us live here in studio today is Dr. Joseph Vincent from Treasure State Eye Care in Great Falls. Dr. Vincent, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, so I think the most pertinent question right now, is this going to burn a hole in folks' eyes if they look directly at it?
It certainly can. It has the potential to. I mean, the sun today is no different than it is, any other day of the week. The difference is that A, it's once in a lifetime, people want to look at it, and B, when most of it's covered up, it's that much easier, right? Most of us have the aversion to staring at the sun. And so just like when you're burning ants as a little kid with a magnifying glass, it's the same idea that focuses right on your retina. It can certainly burn holes in the macula area. So.
We talked about how just regular sunglasses won't work for this event. Why is that?
Well, regular sunglasses are meant to kind of block the harmful UV rays that can cause things like cataracts and things that way. Even then, when you're staring directly at the sun, we're going to get a very, very large dose of those types of things. This is actually hundreds of times stronger than just your ambient sunlight from driving a car and things like that.
Y'all expecting to see a lot of patients at your practice?
Hopefully
today?
not. Hopefully not. What I'm worried about most is kids. Parents, adults mostly, I think, can kind of use common sense. Kids, even when they have the glasses, it's going to be a lot cooler to look around them or look over them and things like that. And so most of these injuries, actually, most people won't even realize they have a problem until they wake up tomorrow and things are a little bit fuzzy. They might get a little bit of, that kind of like a flash from a camera, that kind of washed out feeling, but any real permanent damage probably takes 24 hours or so to show up. So tomorrow's the day we're mostly worried about.
Yeah, you tell a kid not to do something and they're naturally going to try to do that, probably.
Right. Yeah, I walked from my car into this building. I had a tough time not turning to take a peek at it because you're curious. It's tough.
Absolutely. And I know I went outside just a bit earlier with my glasses to check it out as it got started. And even just after a few minutes with the ISO certified glasses, I was seeing little rings in my eyes. And now if people start to experience that, I know you said wait until, well, the lasting effects will probably be tomorrow morning, but is there a time today when they should seek medical attention?
I would say for today, I wouldn't panic too much. Like I said, when you first pull the glasses away or look away, you're going to get some of that kind of after image effect. But the real damage typically doesn't show up for hours to really a day or two later. So if you wake up in the morning, go to look in the mirror and your face is a little bit fuzzy, things like that, that's when I'd be concerned.
Have you had a lot of comments or questions from patients or just from the general public?
Not as much as I would have thought, honestly. I think there's a pretty good public awareness campaign now. I think most people kind of understand the dangers of what's going on. So
that's good. Well, Dr. Vincent, thanks so much for
Oh,
joining
no problem.
us this morning.
Thank you.
We're going to keep you with us here in case we have more questions.
Got a pair of
about
special
our
glasses there for you when it actually fully happens.
Exactly. And so finding those special glasses that we have been talking about for the eclipse, leading up to today's event that we have now started, getting closer to as close to totality as we're going to get here in the Treasure State. This became a nightmare for some people.
That's right. Area retailers sold out weeks ago, leaving most folks scrambling to find a pair somewhere else, and they turned to online giant Amazon.com. But MTN found a dramatic jump in the price of those glasses over the past 2 weeks. We purchased 5 pairs of glasses on August 11th for $24.95. A week later, they were going for nearly $60. MTN has seen several instances of apparent price gouging as retailers work to sell those glasses leading up to today's eclipse. We've even received reports that some people are buying them all up from retailers, then reselling them for a profit. I saw one person on Facebook doing exactly that. So anyway, emergency officials, they're also preparing for a breakdown in communications. No, the eclipse itself won't disrupt things, but the fact that hundreds of thousands of people will be in the same place at the same time trying to use their cell phones will. First responders are urging you to reduce your data usage during the eclipse to prevent a network overload.
And we want to make sure you get the best experience of the eclipse.
As we have some do's and don'ts as you take in the celestial event. There we go. First, don't waste your time photographing it. Only expert photographers will get those most amazing photos. You just focus on enjoying it in the moment. And if you're going south into that area of totality, don't leave your eclipse glasses on during totality. As soon as you can't see the sun through them, take them off. Now, if you're staying here in Montana to view the eclipse, you need to keep those glasses on at all times. Don't just focus on the sun. Look around because the environment will change as day turns to night. The street lamps will light up, the birds will fall silent, even some nighttime animals may appear. You'll need to stop viewing the sun through binoculars or a telescope before totality ends. Not doing so could leave you blind forever. And don't just do one thing exclusively as it's happening. Take it all in. You'll even see the stars appear as that eclipse reaches its peak. And we know hundreds of thousands of Americans have traveled that path of totality, but many folks are staying right at home to view it.
And Great Falls College MSU is hosting a viewing party, handing out 500 pairs of those special eclipse glasses to those who attend. And that is where we find MTN's Jeff Kelly. Jeff.
We have a great crowd out here, and I'm telling you what, I am so glad I have these glasses because we, actually started to get a little darker out here at MSU Great Falls. Ladies, what do you think? You enjoying this? Don't take off your glasses.
Oh, yes, very much. Yes, it's a little cooler too.
It did cool down, didn't it? You think it cooled down?
Yes, it really did, and it's just kind of dull out here. The sky's everything's kind of dullish.
Well, I hope I'm not dull for you on TV here. Now,
Oh,
I'll tell you what, You were at the last eclipse, you were telling me, so how does this compare?
This is very similar, except the last one was total. So when it got to be total, it was very dark.
Where did you see the last total one?
In 1979 in Lewistown.
Lewistown. How about you? Enjoying this?
It's a lot of fun, and it's great to see such a great crowd here, and it's like a real community celebration watching the sun.
You know, I can barely see you with these glasses. I don't even know what you guys look like. Thank you very much. Lewis Card is with us. Lewis, you set this all up. I tell you what, how fast did these glasses go? You had 500 of them.
Yeah, they went in about 15 to 20 minutes. We went through them all, but it's been great. You look around and you see everyone and they're sharing them. It's been really cool. And it wasn't just me that put this on at all. It was the campus as a whole. We got together. We said, hey, let's do this. It's a cool opportunity for our community to come to campus and for us to engage with community. Just really exciting.
Yeah, I saw some people came through the little drive-through and they got the glasses and then they hit the road.
Well, you know, that's part of it, right? But we've got a lot of people who stuck around, and it's just really cool to see everyone having fun on campus.
Tell me where you got the glasses from. They were so hard to find, and you guys found them.
Boy, the exact website I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but we made sure that they were NASA-approved viewing glasses. There was some worry of fake ones being sold.
And whether they'd show up or not.
Yeah, and we made sure they were the legitimate ones. And then, of course, there's the panic of, will they show up on time? And they did.
What have you thought about the eclipse so far?
It's pretty cool. It doesn't happen every day to be able to be a part of it.
Did you notice when it got dark all of a sudden out here?
It really cooled off, didn't it?
Thanks, Lewis. Thanks for doing this, throwing a party out here. Tell you what, we're having a great time. How are you doing here? You enjoying the eclipse?
Yes, it's great.
And how about the boys here? They seem to be having a good time.
They're having a lot of fun. Yep.
Once in a lifetime experience. Let's hear it for the eclipse, everybody! Oh yeah, eclipse time. You got to put your glasses on. Give me an impression of what you're seeing right now. Throw them up there. Throw them up there. You can do it. Put them on here. Tell me what you're seeing. Look up at the sun. What are you seeing?
Looks like a crescent moon.
Crescent moon. We've got a moon going on. What's everybody else seeing? You taking a photo here? Don't take them off. Don't take them off.
It's pretty cool. The world's going to end in about 20 minutes.
The world's going to end. This kid said the world's going to end in 20 minutes. I hope not. We'll throw it back to you guys having a great time out here on the lawn at Great Falls, MSU. What a time. And we're not there yet. Going to throw them back on. It's pretty. Back to you guys.
This is just the most exciting thing I think I've ever participated in.
This is the best picture we've had yet. This is the best.
The last time a total solar eclipse happened, and it happened right over Helena, Montana, which is where you, sir, were.
That's right. I was there when that happened that day. I was in 7th grade, I believe, and we as kids in middle school were fortunate enough to get the morning off to go and view the eclipse. And I remember that network that was actually ABC, but they were downtown in Helena, and it was such a big event. We didn't have the big rush on glasses that time. We didn't have the internet or anything like that. But
did you view it with your bare eyes?
I think I did. We all tried to make the the special cereal box viewers, and we were trying to get that situated. And I think after a couple minutes, people said, "What the heck?" and glanced up at the sun. But we were the one thing I do remember was our teachers and parents saying, "Don't stare at the sun." And so, we all took a sneak peek, but I think my eyes seemed to be okay, so I survived that one.
Yeah, glasses, not because of the eclipse?
No, those are not because of the eclipse. Those are just because I've reached that point that I need them now.
No. So, all right, well, that is good to know that this is a live look in Great Falls right now that we've got going on for you here, folks, as we approach totality. Just about, let me do some math here. 11:34 is when it peaks.
11:34, so we're looking at what, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, something like that. Yeah. So, my gosh, this is out of Big Summit Prairie, Oregon. They get a great view. I'm not sure what their totality percentage is, but again, in Great Falls, 89% is going to be eclipsed, and in Helena, a little further south, they're going to have 93%. So not quite totality, but it's still going to be pretty fascinating out there for people to see.
Just a couple minutes away from that now, getting really, really excited to see it reach almost totality. I mean, I think it looks really cool right now. It almost kind of looks just like the moon out there.
And again, we've got our ISO certified glasses, so when it happens, we're going to be stepping outside. But you'll still be able to hear us, but hopefully you'll be able to see it yourself with the special glasses.
Absolutely.
All right, well, we are going to continue our coverage of this, for many, once-in-a-lifetime event. Stay with us. Our special eclipse, solar eclipse coverage continues in just a moment.
From MTN, the Montana Television Network, this is a solar eclipse special report.
All right, our countdown to the eclipse coverage continues. You're looking live. This is from Great Falls, and we are just moments away from the peak of the eclipse here in central Montana.
That's exactly right. And now, as we've been mentioning, Montana isn't in the path of complete totality for today's eclipse, but our neighbors to the south are. And we're going to pitch to our Ed McIntosh, who is in Casper, Wyoming for the eclipse. Ed.
Already see the solar eclipse. Now, if you just glance up in the sky, you really don't see really anything that's going on. But once you put the glasses on or you take a look at our special imagery, now we have a special lens on the camera, so don't be tempted to go out and just say we can move the camera up and be able to take that image, because it isn't going to work.
Yeah.
You just do more damage than anything else.
You got to be protecting your eyes with appropriate glasses. Don't just use regular sunglasses. Now, right at the time of totality, when it gets completely dark, if you're still wearing those, you're not going to see, much of anything. But if you look out around the edges, you should be able to see the stars. Definitely feel a change in temperature, and it's coming quick. We can see it changing.
Absolutely. And again, just as an appropriate introduction, Craig Beals is the Montana Teacher of the Year in 2015. We have him on with us quite regularly, local, to talk about different things with science. And you have a special relationship with FLIR. And let's talk a little about that and their being here today with us.
Yeah, so we're really, really fortunate that FLIR, manufacturer of the best infrared cameras in the world, has brought their science camera here, which is an analytical science camera, so that we can see this in infrared. And I started working with FLIR about a year ago to really start filming science experiments in the infrared spectrum so that we could see them in a way like no other. And then when FLIR heard that we were talking about coming down here to see the eclipse, they said, wait, we should be having a camera down there to see what we can capture. And the thing is, we don't know what we're going to capture in infrared. That's why we're here, and that's why FLIR is here, to see what the eclipse looks like in thermal imagery.
And with all those amazing technology we have today, there's still so much more that we can learn, and unique opportunities like this really give us a chance to try things we couldn't otherwise do. What you're seeing on your screen right now, on the left-hand side, is the imagery that we were looking at with a regular camera with the filter, and now what you're seeing is the imagery through the infrared camera, where it's actually measuring the temperature, and you can see where the moon, now obscuring a good portion of the sun, is not allowing that heat to make it back down towards us once again.
Yeah, and if you look carefully, it's kind of hard to see it on the screen here. You can really see the corona starting to appear on the outside edge. So where it looks fuzzy right there, it's not necessarily out of focus. That's the energy, the heat energy streaming away from the sun on that lower left-hand side. What we're hoping to see during totality is just that, it's sort of like the diamond ring without just the ring shape around the outside edge, and then hopefully that thermal energy streaming out. Now, I felt a definite shift in temperature. Right now.
We could just feel it getting cooler as more and more of it. In fact, we just felt the steady decline in the temperatures. And of course, we expect at the time when this actually eclipse, and that is scheduled for the spot that we are at 11:42, and I think if you want to get right down to it, 43 seconds. So, and in fact, we can just feel it getting darker and darker around us with the cooler air starting to move back out again. If you're in Montana, of course, for the most part, you're not going to be in a situation where it is safe at any point just to watch the eclipse without doing it in some sort of safe way, whether that's a shadow box or it's using shade 14 welder's glasses or eclipse glasses. So, it's fun and it's cool to look at, but don't put your health and your eyes at risk just for this event today.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see we're starting to get close. Again, that distance, it looks like the moon is about the same size as the sun as we see it right here. We know that it's not even close to the same size. The difference here is the amount of distance. So we're about 239,000 miles away from the moon, but 93 million miles away from the sun, which is why they look about the same size when they're not even remotely the same size. The sun is absolutely enormous.
And of course, it's just one of those relationships in nature where the moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, but it's 400 times closer. So in this particular case, especially when it lines up just right, we get a chance to see a solar eclipse. At this point, I think if you're watching on TV, it probably looks like a smoky day.
Yeah, it's starting to feel very eerie. Kind of like if you've got just maybe one lamp on somewhere and you're like, it's not quite enough light. Feels like we should have some more lights on.
Right.
But and the temperature is changing. It feels like incrementally as time's going on here. You can see just a sliver of light on the outside.
All right, thanks to Ed McIntosh from our sister station, KTVQ out of Billings. He's out in Casper, Wyoming. Now you're looking at a live shot from Great Falls area. As you can look at the sun, like that one kid said that Jeff Kelly was talking to, looks like a crescent moon. I don't think the world's going to end, though, at this point. All right, so yeah, beautiful shot. We're just outside the station taking a look through the glasses here, and we get a lot of folks, at least according to station standards out there. All the people working are out checking out the eclipse, and we are doing it for you as well, giving you some special
send that to me.
coverage. We have our reporters. We heard from Jeff Kelly just a few minutes ago at MSU College, where the big eclipse viewing party is going on. And we also have Michelle Morgan. She's in downtown Great Falls, or not downtown Great Falls, but on 10th Avenue South in Great Falls, one of the busiest streets in the state. So speaking of Michelle Morgan, we are going to toss to Michelle, our Montana This Morning meteorologist right now. Michelle, tell us what you're seeing out there.
It is incredible out here. We actually spoke to business owners earlier and we had folks drive through Great Falls to get to the path of totality. Right now traffic is moving along and you could feel the temperature drop. Feels much cooler outside, still very bright. The sun is about 90% covered right now, but you can definitely feel the temperature drop. Now, traffic is moving along just fine. Nobody has their headlights on or no lights are on, so it's still very bright out here. Now, we'll keep you updated if anything else goes on. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks, Michelle. Interesting. I was just outside, and I know that I was using my glasses, and as soon as I went to come back inside here, I took them off as I was still staring right at the sun. So definitely want to be careful and make sure that you look down before you do that. I know we've got Dr. Vincent here, and I was just saying, oh my gosh, what did I just do? And he was like, I think you're going to be okay, but I guess we'll have to wait until tomorrow morning to find out. But I feel like I could use these glasses just with our studio lights, right?
That's right. Yeah, these are very protective glasses. So if you're out and about, make sure you have these, and if you don't be staring at the sun.
Don't do that.
I know we can say that all day long, but can't emphasize the importance enough.
Yeah, no kidding. What did you think when you were just out there?
It was pretty neat. It was hard not to want to take a peek at it, though. So be careful.
Definitely be careful. May not be worth checking it out without the glasses on it. And folks, we are going to continue our live coverage online, but we're going to send you back to CBS programming right now. We'll see you in a few minutes online.
All right. Welcome back to our special solar eclipse coverage here on MTN. I'd like to welcome all our viewers actually across the world, we understand, because we have Dr. Joe Vincent with Treasure State Eye Care with us today. And he, of course, is an expert in all things eye-related. And again, thanks for joining us. And
no problem.
You were impressed with what you saw through the eclipse glasses.
Yeah, pretty neat. I wasn't expecting it to look completely pitch black except for the sun, but pretty cool to look at.
And you said you've seen a partial eclipse before. How much cooler is this, if I dare say it is?
I think I was in first grade, so I'm not 100% sure.
Sure.
Seemed pretty cool then, but
yeah,
this is a whole lot. Pretty neat experience.
All right. Well, Jeff Kelly is one of our reporters out and about today, and Jeff is at Montana State University, Great Falls College, MSU. And Jeff, looks like you got some very, very interested kids out there.
And everybody enjoying the eclipse? Yeah. All right. Now, one of you guys said it's the end of the world coming in a minute. I don't think that's going to happen. Was it you?
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to be fine. I think we're going to be. What has been your favorite thing about the eclipse so far today?
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And this is both of us our first time.
First timers. Everybody first timers? Yeah. Because even the grandparents and the grandparents and your parents probably haven't even seen this. Where's your glasses? Don't look up there. Don't look up there. Do you need a pair? Here, try mine out. Everybody having a good time back here? You look excited. What's your favorite thing about the eclipse today? Put your glasses on. We got to see this.
Everything.
You loving it?
Yep.
It's free. You know they're going to charge for this next time.
At that time, money will be obsolete.
Look at this. Everybody's going to have a sore neck by the time we're done with all this. It is beautiful out here. And what we noticed, too, was the shadow came and the temperatures went down, too. Did you guys notice that? Yeah. Temperatures dropped off quite a bit, so it's been phenomenal. And inside, NASA's got the feed, so you can go inside and watch that today as it goes through to all the way to the southeast. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Jeff. It's so fun to see everybody out there enjoying this spectacle right now.
And the great thing for a lot of these kids is school hasn't started for most of them, so they can get the, truly the day off. And although it's kind of fun too, I suppose, if you're in school. I know when it happened in 1979, I was in school. We talked about it a lot. Again, the only thing I remember is don't look at the sun. I don't remember any of the scientific things. Just don't stare at the sun. But it's great for kids because, again, this is going to be, for a lot of them, a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I do know it's going to happen again in 24 years maybe,
24.
but that's a long time to wait. So this is a major event. And
absolutely
we're just very fortunate to be so close to the path of totality as we are.
I know. For folks who might be bummed that we don't get to see the total solar eclipse, I mean, this is about as close as it gets. And of course, we're bringing you coverage of that totality in other places like in Casper, Wyoming, and in Great Falls. As you mentioned, we have 89% totality. This is in Colorado, though, what we are looking at right now, and it looks like they are just minutes away from totality. They're kind of amazing how you can see sort of the red light glowing where they are, and that is all that you can see there. Wow.
Yeah, and this, I believe, is our shot again from Great Falls, outside our Great Falls studio. But again, it's very impressive as the moon passes between the sun and the earth.
It kind of looks like it is just a sliver of the moon right now.
Yeah.
I mean, it is still obviously pretty light outside, but from this angle, it looks really dark. I think that's one of our filters on our camera to be able to show you that. Still pretty light outside, but otherwise, I mean, you'd think you're looking right at the moon right now.
And again, we were very fortunate to have as clear of a day as we had. I know there was a big concern, of course, with clouds anytime you have an event like this, but also with all the smoke from the fires was another big concern as well. But this is a pretty darn good day, I think, for a solar eclipse.
Yeah, pretty lucky to be able to see this and experience it, and that the weather cooperated. We're going to say thanks to Mike and Michelle. We like to pretend that they order up the weather, so we'll just say a hearty thank you to them for their role in this, but of course for keeping us informed of everything that's going on. And speaking of that, we have Mike Rollins with us now. Mike.
Yeah, and over the next hour or so, we still have another hour and a half of this eclipse left to go. So over the next hour, you're going to notice things getting brighter again. The temperature is going to start going up as we look live here from Great Falls. We've got our camera right outside, aimed right at the sun. And again, you're going to see big changes here just over the next hour and a half. This eclipse will end at 12:56 in Great Falls, and we'll wrap this thing up just before 1 o'clock, back to a normal Monday afternoon for us. Of course, right now, everyone is feeling a little drop in the temperature, of course, once we've covered up most of the sun, 90% of it here, but things will start to heat back up. You'll start to see maybe some of the animal behavior return to normal, things like that. That's all going to be happening here, of course, over the next hour and a half or so. So a lot going on. It's been an interesting day, and I know a once-in-a-lifetime event for a lot of folks.
That for Dr. Joe Vincent of Treasure State Eye Care, it turns out to be just a normal day for you because you said, you could see a few more people today, but hopefully that's not the case, because if that is the case, people didn't listen to our advice.
That's right. Hopefully people just being overly cautious today. So.
We sure hope so, but I guess we'll find out for sure tomorrow when folks wake up, and hopefully no one is experiencing those symptoms that you mentioned earlier. Can you tell us about those one more time so folks know what to look out for when they wake up tomorrow?
Yeah, it's simply blurry vision, right? I mean, if it were to burn a spot in the center part of your vision, you look in the mirror and everything peripherally might look normal, but your face might look a little bit blurry. So if you notice some of that, let us know. We can take a look at it. So.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, again, till about 12:56 p.m., just before 1 o'clock, is when the eclipse is scheduled to end. And we're going to obviously have more coverage later on the evening news about all the things that have happened with the eclipse, and it's just a great day. 7.4 million people expected to crowd in the totality zone, and this is again totality wrapping up, and very impressive. This is from Wyoming, I believe, in Casper.
Wow.
So yeah, that's just amazing. Again, once in a lifetime event for many of
there
us.
it goes.
There it
Oh
is.
my gosh. And now you see nothing. Oh my
You see it,
goodness.
and now you don't.
There you go. Wow, that is so cool, and I'm so glad that we're able to share this with folks right now, because this is just incredible. And of course, if you aren't outside and if you're watching us right now, or even if you're outside and watching us right now, we're really glad to see this. And thank you so much for joining us today. We want to say thank you to everyone, to our reporters across the state for bringing us the coverage of the eclipse. And of course, as Tim mentioned, our coverage doesn't stop here. You can tune in to KRTV and KXLH right now for continuing coverage from CBS News. And of course, tune in tonight for the 5:30 and 10 o'clock news on KRTV and KXLH.
We'll also have a look ahead to the next one in 27 years. So from all of us here at MTN, thanks for watching. Have a great day.